I know the comparison has often been made many times over the years that people will never truly know what it was like to become a true Disney fan, to grow up in a very different generation. But I am somebody who's often challenged that because I would have loved to have grown up and been a part of your guys' generation for just how fun it seemed to be a part of, and seeing how much fun you guys had at events like the Worlds Collide Tour. These are such special moments that should forever and always be cherished and should forever and always be honored because of you and how much they meant to you. So that's one of the reasons why I created this YouTube channel, because I wanted to give you something special in return for what you showed me, which was so much love and support. It was truly undescribable how much love and support came from within this niche and what I saw, what I had the chance to experience. And you guys have often heard me say thank you to all of you because I know that without you and your love and support, I would never have had the chance to come back and be a part of this generation. What you guys did for this YouTuber is you brought him back and you allowed him to become a voice of a very dedicated soundtrack in a very different generation, because I always remember being a fan of Disney in a very different generation that once was. It was a generation that was prided on music and colorful characters like Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh, characters that I cherished having the chance to grow up with. But I would have loved to have had the chance to grow up and be a fan of Descendants of Zombies because it looks so fun. And you guys seem to be having the time of your life at every event from the Worlds Collide Tour last summer. So I say let's run it back. And let's talk about the Worlds Collide Tour the way it's forever and always meant to be talked about and profiled, because there are far too many people who don't see it that way. They see the Worlds Collide Tour more often than enough as an event to criticize because people love criticism. And I have no unearthly idea why so many people love to criticize something without ever giving it much of a chance. I guess that's what their channel thrives off of. But I have never wanted to do that. I've always wanted to be a guy who's always had something nice to say about your favorite stars, because from the first moment I saw Kylie Control cry in a YouTube video, I was kind of taken back. I was taken back to how much trials and tribulations Hilary Duff was faced with, Lindsay Lohan's fair share of criticism. I was taken back to my generation. And I always remember being a huge fan of Lindsay Lohan, no matter how people felt about her. I always remember being the biggest supporter of Hilary Duff who ever was out there. And I thought about them, and I thought about Kylie Cantrell suffering from the same thing. And I wanted to kind of take that away because she was really wasting her tears and really wasting her time. Because what she should have been focusing on all along were all of you. And the same thing applies to Freya Sky. Who she should be focusing on are all of you. Because you made these moments so special for people like Kylie and Freya. And I've always wanted them to enjoy and feel comfortable about these moments they've had to share with all of you. Because I saw Freya Sky's performance of London in UK a couple of weeks ago. They shot the music video for London there. And the emotion was really at an all-time high. She was so overcome with emotion. She was telling everybody to light up their cell phones and their flashlights on their cell phones, and thousands of people did. I know these shows were performed in low-scale theaters that could only seat about 4,000 people roughly, but those 4,000 people that came from everywhere, because seating was very limited, really had the time of their life and had the chance to experience something so special. I want you guys to always remember and always know and never ever forget that things like the Stars Align World Tour and the Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide Tour were made so special and never ever forgotten, and have always held a special place in the hearts of people like me who had the chance to review it in such a nice way. These moments were made possible because of all of you. The 4,000 people who subscribed to this YouTube channel and the over 455,000 recommendations or something like that that happened for this YouTube channel in this previous month happened because people saw something special in the videos that I had the chance to create. This never happened because I just woke up one day and said, okay, cool, I'm going to upload videos about Descendants of Zombies for what will become the rest of my life. This happened because you guys always showed me so much incentive and gave me more of a reason to believe in my content than ever before. There are so many people who will upload just one Descendants of Zombies videos, and that's all you get from them is just one Descendants of Zombies video. And I really wish there was more, because the majority of these videos, if you do see a fluctuation of Descendants of Zombies videos on YouTube, are pretty much just AI, where you don't really get a whole lot. So because you don't really get a whole lot, you can't really, offer a prediction because you don't know what's coming next. But, I've often challenged that also, because not knowing what the future has in store gives us more of a reason to believe in something special than perhaps we ever have. I think that people who believe in mermaids or zombies believe in all these wonderful fairy tale characters who we have yet to see an introduction for in the Descendants franchise. I think you should keep on holding on to that belief because there's always been something special about Rapunzel's story. I always loved Rapunzel's story from Tangled because Rapunzel's story was about a girl who had been locked away in a tower because her dad didn't want her to find true love. And when she finally got out of the tower, she did go on to find true love, and it became something far more than she ever thought or ever imagined it would be. Of course, that story about how a guy wanted to keep his daughter locked up in a tower was the inspiration for Tangled, and they changed it from a dad to Mother Gothel, who just wanted to keep Rapunzel for herself because she loved Rapunzel so much, although she may have never been able to tell her. And that story went on to touch the hearts of so many wonderful people from what became a very different generation. And the thing that I always appreciated about Rapunzel was how Rapunzel just had so many mixed emotions. One moment she was happy, one moment she was overcome with joy, one moment she was severely depressed. She just had this appreciation for life that often put a smile on all of her faces. And Rapunzel often reminded a lot of us of ourselves because the things that Rapunzel was going through with Eugene and her friends, because she was friends with really everything and everyone, the thing that Rapunzel was always appreciative of was just everybody around her and just so appreciative of these moments. So that's why her story was one of the most relatable and why she went on to become one of my favorite Disney princesses of all time. The number one favorite Disney princess I've always had and had a special place in my heart for has always been Belle. She will forever be my favorite Disney princess, and I'm going to tell you why. It had everything to do with her intelligence and just how kind she was. She reminds me of Ruby Rose Turner's personality. So if there ever was somebody to play Belle, it would have had to have been Ruby Rose Turner. I know that Emma Watson did a wonderful job as the live action Belle in the live action Beauty and the Beast back in 2017, which was forever ago. But if you were to kind of retell or rewrite the Beauty and the Beast stage play or rewrite the entire story, the entire script, I think you would give that distinction to Ruby. Or if I was the director of Beauty and the Beast, I think I would have gave that distinction to Ruby forever ago because there was always something about Ruby and just how kind she was and how she not only wanted to bring the best out of herself, but everybody she ever worked with. And she always had a soft place in her heart for the original cast of Descendants. She's always had a soft place in her heart for people like Cameron Boyce because she learned so much from them. And the thing is, these characters have drawn inspiration from the past cast of Descendants more often than enough, and probably more than they've ever chosen to admit to, which makes this new take on Descendants, this new spinoff, so worth watching. I would just like to kind of throw it out there. To anybody who has never watched Descendants at least once in their life, I think you should. I think you should use Disney Plus if you have access to it to kind of watch The Rise of Red and actually give it a chance. Because when you do give it a chance, only great things will resonate from it and you will feel connected to a story and you will eventually feel like you're becoming a part of it. Because I think there are more people out there who watched Descendants for the first time ever and really felt a part of it, really felt connected to something that was obviously very special for the costumes, for the story, for the music. Because oftentimes when the script was very emotional, they would go to music and they would rely on music to help tell a story, which was a very powerful way of telling the story of Descendants. Because every character in Descendants, why do you think that is? Every character in Descendants had their own way of trying to tell a story. And oftentimes they would rely on music to tell it. And I remember being there and I remember hearing the performances of songs like If Only and Space Between, which eventually became Life is Sweeter When You Are. It was referred to as a bubblegum type song because it was one of those songs that instantly got stuck in your head almost instantly, just as fast as you could snap your fingers. There was always something about hearing the words, life is sweeter when you are. And you get up dancing, you'd want to know the choreographing to it just as fast as you could snap your fingers. I remember when, of course, they were at Millennial Dance Complex in 2024, and Kylie Constrell and Ruby Rose Turner were so excited to teach you guys the choreographing. And so many people from all walks of life and different ages came out to have a chance to meet them, and they had the time of their lives. The Zombies cast had the chance to do the same thing for the song Don't Mess With Us at Millennial Dance Complex back in 2025. Back-to-back years for Millennial Dance Complex for Disney was phenomenal, and I just remembered the reactions from all of you. I remembered the reactions from the Worlds Collide Tour that have forever made what I've done as a YouTuber worth it every single time. I've always, if there was anything I ever wanted you guys to take away from the videos that I've often recorded, are that you guys are always and forever what has made Descendants of Zombies, these franchises, glow. And don't you ever let anybody tell you any different, because you are always and forever, to me at least, while I can't speak for everybody else, but to me, what has always made Descendants of Zombies so special and stand out for more than just the obvious reasons. I mean, people will often review the costumes, people will often review the performances, but that's all you get from them. And that's why people say in these teaser trailers, we didn't really get a whole lot. But did we really get a whole lot or not? The thing is, guys, we got more from those teaser trailers than we ever thought we would. Because if you go back and I'll have more to say on this tonight, but if you go back and you watch that 1 minute and a half long teaser trailer, the thing is, from that minute and a half long teaser trailer, the monetization of the Oregon world was significantly updated. I love the modern style castle they live in. If you notice anything about where Red and Chloe reside, their living arrangement has kind of been significantly updated. The costume styles have been updated. Oregon had a complete makeover. And I know that there are a lot of people, far too many of them, who didn't take the time to really realize this or appreciate how Oregon had a modern kind of updated look. And that's what people are really going to notice upon watching Wicked Wonderland on Disney Plus for the first time ever, is the modern updated look of Oregon. And the thing is, guys, if you've never seen the 30-second teaser trailer or the minute and a half long, however long it is, if you've never seen the teaser trailer, and I'll have more to say on this tonight, go back on YouTube and rewatch it. And you'll notice how everything has been updated. Not just the characters had a makeover, but everything had a makeover. We have a brand new cat who's going to be voiced. His name is Chessie. Of course, the inspiration from the Cherokee cat created this character. And his personality, just to kind of let you guys in on a little something, his personality is really over the top. His personality kind of reminds me of my own, because my personality has always been very unpredictable, because so many people never know how I'm going to be or what I'm ever going to say. So his personality kind of reminds me of my own more often than enough, and I'm really excited for you guys to meet him. I'm really excited for you guys to meet Liamani Segura, and I'm really excited for you guys to meet Keanu Romero, if you haven't already, for playing Hazel Hook. Because I think that this new generation of cast members are obviously stronger. They feel more confident. And why do you think that is? They feel more confident because of all of you. Because you guys welcomed them into this niche. And upon welcoming them into this niche, you guys have accepted them with so much warmth and kindness. There's always been something special about this niche. For anyone who may have never realized this, there's always been something special about this niche. And the thing that I've always noticed about you guys are you care. You never quit on who you love and who you support, and you just care. You never go away. You're always here out of love and support. You always have nice things to say. I know this because in the comments that I often receive, I know there are people who often take exception to a guy saying the same thing over and over again. But the thing is, you got to realize, for the 500 times that you may have watched the 1,000 videos that I've uploaded, and at least 500 videos that you may have watched, I probably sound like I'm saying the same thing and obviously sound like a broken record. But the thing is, you got to realize there's probably somebody out there watching this video for the first time ever who just wants to have a chance to hear this story and hear what a guy thinks about Descendants of Zombies. Because you could search 1,000 years over the world, but you would never find a guy who loyally sits down in front of his microphone and talks about Descendants of Zombies quite like this. And you never will. Because the thing is, this is the unofficial Descendants of Zombies podcast that you guys are tuned into. You're watching every night on YouTube. And I've loved hosting it for you. If there was any other opportunity that could present itself to me, I think I would turn it down, because there's no place in the world I'd rather be than sitting right here behind this microphone every night to elaborate on Descendants and Zombies and take these franchises really to places they've never been, to infinity and beyond. Come to think of it, I'm going to see Toy Story 5 tomorrow, and I'm really excited about that. But again, I'll have more on that tonight. Guys, thank you so very much for always having chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel, and for most of all, really believing in your favorite characters, because you are forever and always what have made moments such as these so special for me, and I've never ever wanted you guys to doubt what it's like to be a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because simply being a fan of Descendants and Zombies is cool, and that deserves encouragement, that deserves incentive, and I think a lot of people see incentive if they look a little bit closer. I think a lot of people, far more than often enough, see incentive from within this franchise, and they draw inspirations from their favorite characters and their favorite moments every single time. I've loved being here, and I'd love to have the chance to experience this. If I could experience it all over again, I obviously would, because there's always something nice to say and something far more relatable than people tend to realize. If you guys are looking for a special dedicated channel to Descendants of Zombies, then look no further than this one, and I would love for you to hit my subscribe button and join me on what I could only ever describe as an unforgettable journey where I've had the chance to meet so many incredible people along the way, and people who will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. With that having been said, on this beautiful evening, thank you guys so much for always and forever loving and supporting Descendants of Zombies in the way you have over this last decade, because it's been a very unprecedented decade and a very unpredictable one at that, because we never seem to know what's coming next. It's kind of like going and seeing movie previews, because you never know what the teaser trailers are going to offer you, or indeed what's going to happen next. And the same logic applies to Descendants of Zombies, because we may never know what the future has in store, but that's what makes all of our futures that much more exciting and that much more appreciative of when they finally come into fruition. And you guys made all of my dreams become more of a reality than ever before. Thank you so much. Thank you for choosing this YouTube channel always and forever as your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel. And from my heart to yours, thank you so very much for always having watched these videos.